Week number 2 for the Ohio State Buckeyes as they welcome in the Western Michigan Broncos for a matchup that on paper may seem to be one-sided, but if anything, or if today is any indication of what's to come, it may not be the case. We get you set for a Week 2 matchup between the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Western Michigan Broncos, next on the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast.
We've got the whole crew together as we cover Ohio State with our instant analysis from Ohio State.
There's something that doesn't feel right.
Unbelievable effort from him today. Is E.J. Liddell going to crack the first team All-Big Ten?
I think he can be the guy. I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy.
He seems to have the durability. He certainly has the toughness, is the question on a lot of people's minds here. Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast. This one, a game day preview. Anthony Moeglin, Kevin Woidke with you here as we get you set for what seems to be and what may feel to be a pretty one-sided affair between the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are the number 2 ranked team in the country, hosting the Western Michigan Broncos, who come in off of a tough loss against the Wisconsin Badgers. And they're 37-point underdogs, but Kevin, if you look around the country, there's something in the air today in Week 2 that may have you questioning, hey, Ohio State better come ready to play or else they may get punched in the mouth. Kevin, what are your thoughts heading into to Week 2 here?
Absolutely. I think that after their showing last week against Wisconsin, they already were taking them seriously. And then being a night game, they were able to see the other games. Like Bowling Green gave Penn State a real thriller there towards the end. I mean, you got Notre Dame right now is in a dogfight. I mean, it's crazy to think about all these schools that people usually think of as just, pay $1 million and go beat the hell out of them. But I mean, it's just not that. And today is another example of it. And they're going to need to really lock in and be ready to go from the snap of the ball.
There's in college football, in the years past, teams have been so there's been a huge discrepancy between teams, especially in games like this, right? Ohio State's the best team in the country. They're the best roster in the country. But as the playing field starts to level a little bit in this NIL world, you can start to have some of these games, and these types of performances may become more common. But I think a huge advantage for the Buckeyes today is the fact that they are playing at 7:30. I know I was belly aching earlier in the week, like, why is this game a 7:30 kick? This should be noon. This should be 3:30, whatever it is. But it is a 7:30 kick. However, this gave the coaches, the players, all day to watch Penn State get taken to the brink by Bowling Green. I'm sure they saw Notre Dame take a 6-point deficit into halftime against Northern Iowa. I bet they saw the Oklahoma State game. Kansas State was in an absolute dogfight with Tulane. I mean, there's everywhere you look this week, there's upset alerts. And Ohio State obviously is the better team this afternoon, but they got to come out and show it. And I'm really excited to see hopefully a very motivated team coming in this afternoon. Speaking of the teams here, Kevin, give me a guy on each side of the ball for Ohio State that you're really excited to see today, whether it be on the offensive line, defensive line, running backs, receivers, whoever it may be. Who are 2 guys, one on either side of the ball, that you have your eye on this evening?
Absolutely. I mean, guy I'm looking at on the offense side of the ball, I think, is Josh Fryer. I think he's poised to just have a great game. I do. I think if there's ever a time to really get right and get ready for the rest of the season, I mean, it's his second year starting. It's his second year starting, I think. But he's got to get ready, because some of these games coming down, they have a gauntlet of games after the bye week before they play Oregon, who they're really going to need to be ready for. And I think this is a great way to kind of tune it up, get ready. I mean, they have Marshall after, but then they got Iowa and then Oregon. It's not going to be easy. So I think that it's a good way to get ready. Smack around a guy who's not maybe as talented as the rest of the Big Ten and the rest of Power 5, but it'll be worth it.
No doubt about it. And I think this game's a huge opportunity, again, on that offensive side of the football. I've been harping it on all week long. I'd love to see Will Howard. I don't think he played bad by any stretch of the imagination last week, but I want to see him come out and play smooth. I want this entire offense to come out and from the opening kickoff, play really a smooth, clean football game. Let's see the improvement that they made in this week of work, and I'm really excited to see that. All right, Kevin, we talked about it. Ohio State, massive favorites, 37-point favorites here. The over-under, I had it pulled up. I believe it's in the 50s. We're at 54.5 if you're into betting. I know I am. I know, Kevin, you are as well. Give us your pick. What's your prediction here this afternoon? Is Ohio State going to do enough to cover the spread here, or will Western Michigan keep it kind of tight?
I mean, if you asked me before they play Wisconsin, I'd probably have a more definitive answer. I think Ohio State's going to come out and handle business. I think that, I think they're currently sitting around 37, 38. That's probably a good thing. I mean, I remember Brennan touched on it. They want to be at around 120 points going into week 4, going into the bye week. And, or not after 3 weeks, they want to be, about 40 points a game. And I think that's that's going to be their expectation today. And then over under, it'll be close. If Ohio State can score 50, I don't see Western Michigan scoring on this defense personally. Maybe a couple field goals, maybe 10 points. So it'll definitely be tough. If I could in this state, I'd like G. Scott to score 9-10 touchdown, but not allowed to do that. I am high on G. Scott this week.
You called it earlier in the week. It's G. Scott week, and I'm certainly excited to see that. Good reminder here. This is not a guarantee. Bet responsibly.
Yep.
Whatever you do, if you like to bet, great. If not, all good on that front. But it's certainly excited to see it. My prediction for this game, I think that it's going to be a smooth performance by the Buckeyes. I have us hitting a 50 burger. I got us 55 to 6 game. That's going to be my prediction there. Obviously, that would cover the spread and hit the over. But we're certainly excited for you. Ohio State versus Western Michigan, 7:30. Tonight. Check us out anywhere. We'll be back with a bunch of post-game content here on the YouTube channel. So you'll find us here, have some live reactions afterwards. We'll have all the post-game press conferences there. And if you're more into to keeping a periodic feel on the game, there's going to be a ton of written content both before, during, and after the game over at the website, si.com/college/Ohio State. Well, we're excited to bring it to you for my partner, Kevin Woidke. I'm Anthony Moeglin here on the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast.